Welcome back to LEGO Wars and Heat H of Series 5. Last time out, controversy reigned in the arena as Panic lost to Harold, completing a quartet of struggling series champs. As we move into the second half of our heats, we have two seeds that made it to the top 16 last series, with the 12th seeds Quantum and the 13th seeds Bricker Brother. Now, people seeing the thumbnail probably have a good idea what game we're playing tonight, but for the sake of tradition, let's see who else is fighting tonight.
First, from Birmingham at seeded number 12, Quantum.
Only the eventual champs Tantrum could stop the Brummie Crusher last year as they aimed to make a second top bracket ranking in a row.
From Brighton at seeded number 13, Bricker Brother.
The veteran flipper enters this year with the most upgrades it's had since its Series 2 debut, with a brand new armour package to help keep it ahead of the kinetic curve.
From Northampton, White Hole.
Whitehall has been around since the beginning of the Warzone, but seemed to be struggling to keep up last year and will be determined to show that was just a blip.
From Oxford, Hypno.
The legends of Classic Robot Wars make their main series debut tonight, hoping to prove their classic design can still do the job in a modern LEGO arena.
From Yeovil, Bishop.
Omni Wheels are finally in LEGO Wars with the Kiwi Drive Bishop, hoping to drive sideways rings around its opposition and deliver some percussive damage. Let's begin the action with our 12 seeds Quantum taking on the freewheeling Bishop.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Heat H is hot to go as we begin with Quantum and Bishop, two external robots for LEGO Wars this time around. Quantum built by YouTube's Techno Andrew, and Bishop built by, the only thing I've got in my notes here is Dan, who actually built the Ice Climbers, who we saw last week as well. And Bishop, the only omnidirectional drive robot in LEGO Wars. Quantum are number 12 seeds, made it to the top 16 last time around, lost out there to eventual winners Tantrum. They'll be hoping for a good sophomore season this time around. They're chasing Bishop down. Good swing of the axe there from Bishop though, good, interesting control by them. Quantum pressing and chasing. Pit button activated. Oh, and almost drifting down the pit there was Bishop. Bishop escapes. Good swing of the hammer there. Quantum, beautifully controlled as ever. Did so well in its heat last time. Got the number 1 seed in the bracket, didn't they? If you remember, all the way back to LEGO Wars Series 4's bracket. And Bishop is down the pit here. And Quantum gets off to another perfect start in its heat this time around. Good win for Quantum. Well, Quantum getting back to its customary excellent start in the heat. A good control performance there. But Bishop are proving themselves to be fairly competent little rookies, aren't they? That hammer swings with some potency behind it. In the end, though, Quantum too strong. And it was checkmate for Bishop as they ended up down the pit after a good push by Quantum.
Speedy start to the fighting tonight as Quantum continues their unbeaten run in the heat, as we'll move on to fight 2 of the night between Bricker Brother and White Hole. These two fought back in the original LEGO Wars arena in Series 2, where Bricker pitted the full body spinner to complete their perfect score that year. Let's see if White Hole can get some revenge this time round.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Arrow the sea for the heat then. Bricker Brother gets things off and underway against White Hole, and while no one has ever seen one before in real life in LEGO Wars, they are a famed competitor at this point, White Hole, and I will do my best not to do what Anderson always used to do and call it Black Hole or Welsh Flag Hole or Rainbow Hole, but at the moment they're being taught a new A-hole by Bricker Brother. Look at this! Good lift up from the lifter of Bricker Brother. They've got them almost up and over, and White Hole has no self-rising mechanism. This is a real power display by Bricker Brother, the 13th seeds. Unlucky for some, unlucky for White Hole, who have all their internals hanging out the bottom. It's like me after a curry. But look at this. Bricker Brother is going to leave them there. They've got the fight won. The countdown is beginning. Bricker Brother, a great start to LEGO Wars Series 5, and they get their campaign off to the perfect start and 3 points on the board. Bricker Brother the winner. White Hole in trouble. So what is it? Asked Bricker Brother. Well, not a threat for them because they were able to get in underneath the shell quite easily on White Hole, turn them up on their side, almost completely destroy all the innards, and then eventually just pop them back down, high-centered on their internals. Good fight win for Bricker Brother.
Blimey, I think it took longer saying the recap than it did for Bricker to dislodge White Hole's internals. Let's see if Quantum can try and drag out the runtime for tonight for the mid-rolls as they face Rookie's Hypno Disc.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Hey look guys, it's the fight we never got in Robot Wars. It's totally Razzor versus Hypno Disc. Almost. Hypno Disc though. in the LEGO Wars arena once again. We saw them before taking on Plunderbird, if you remember, back in LEGO Wars Champions, I think it was. They take on Quantum here in great form and are yet to be beaten in the heat of LEGO Wars. And once again, they are trying to set off in pursuit of Hypno Disc and try and maybe rip it off from that iconic spinner design. Hypno Disc up to speed now, though. Comes in for an attack and gets a good slam on the front wedge there of Quantum. Quantum retaliates by pushing Hypno Disc back into the corner. And I think one of the drive wheels of Hypno Disc has come off. Indeed, it has there. They've lost their rear corner. Although I don't think it's a powered wheel, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just more there for support. Quantum will be wary, though, of that weapon at the front. Hypno Disc slithers away back into the centre of the arena where it's a little bit safer. Quantum goes for the pit, but they think they've got this match in the bag already. Hypno Disc up to speed now. Good impact there. Rebuffed by the wedge of Quantum and trying to get Hypno Disc down the pit is Quantum. Quantum doesn't manage to capitalise on that occasion. Hypno Disc round to the side again. Over by the screws. Hypno Disc. A much better performance this time than it was in LEGO Wars Champions when they took on Plunderbird, but they managed to almost flirt with the pit twice or 3 times there. They're still just over the pit, but they get away. Hypno Disc spinning up that weapon back up to speed again. Quantum thinking about bringing the crushing arm down, does so onto the weapon of Hypno Disc, gets it stopped momentarily. The weapon of Quantum stops momentarily, and back up to speed is Hypno Disc once again. Despite that loss of the wheel early on, they're still doing pretty nicely. You'll see there as well the wheel in the other corner, the opposite wheel that hasn't been ripped off. Oh! Speaking of ripped off, there goes most of the armour of Quantum on that one hand side, but I was saying that the other wheel corner there, the one that's intact, is now off the floor, so it's only got 2-wheel drive, and that rear end of Hypno Disc is very loose. Hypno Disc, oh, poor shot there from Hypno Disc, missing Quantum when it was stuck against the wall. Quantum gets away, but not at its best at the moment. Quantum, it's a tough match against the rookies. Hypno Disc, again, as I said, they didn't do too terrifically as they took on LEGO Wars Champions. Losing out there, of course, to Plunderbird L2, as I said, but has to be said, this is a decent performance against a very, very established robot at this point in Quantum in LEGO Wars. Seeded 12, and they're going to take them to time here. There's been a very, very cagey match from Quantum, and despite the early aggression from Quantum, I think Hypno Disc has done a very, very serviceable job here as we go to time between Quantum and Hypno Disc, and I hope it made everyone very happy to see 2 robots of this style in the arena, because it certainly made me happy. Well, if you squint, it was totally Hypno Disc versus Razzor, wasn't it? And Quantum did a very serviceable job of being the Razzor protagonist in this fight, crushing down on the Hypno Disc weapon at the start. Off came that rear wheel from Hypno Disc, compromising their manoeuvrability, but they kept in the fight. Hypno Disc, and despite a few scares, were able to cause significant damage to Quantum, and throughout the fight they were able to pick off big shots like that in order to make it a closer contest than it may have initially seemed.
And the winner by split decision is Quantum. Despite the thermal gremlins, Quantum just hangs on for another heat win to claim the lead outright. The ball is now in Bricker's court to keep pace as they now face Bishop.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Bricker Brother versus Bishop. Away we go for fight number 4 of the night, and down comes that swinging hammer of Bishop. It's very, very impressive, and it's great to watch in the arena. Bishop, down comes the hammer again. Bricker Brother, of course based off of Bigger Brother for Robot Wars, who always used to struggle with hammers. Lost to Dominator 2 on occasion, lost to Terahertz as well, lost to Iron Door, although that was kind of not an accident at that point, was it? But down comes the hammer again of Bishop, swinging over the top and clawing its way round the side of Bricker Brother there, and swinging down with metronomic precision on top of Bricker Brother, and Bricker Brother is statuesque for a second but gets going again. Maybe just a little bit of punch drunk there from the swinging hammer of Bishop. Bricker Brother struggling to translate around the arena floor. This is not the kind of performance we expected from the 13th seed. Maybe it is unlucky for some, and down comes the hammer again of Bishop. Moving diagonally. Get it? Like the chess piece. We love that. Bricker Brother being counted down, but no. Recovers, and back into the fight now. Bricker Brother trying to get round to the back and the sides of Bishop. It's so slippery. Bishop, it can move in any direction. The amazing Kiwi drive on Bishop. And so far, Bishop doing a tremendous job of giving Bricker Brother, a very established veteran of LEGO Wars, a hard time here. The rookies. Down comes that hammer over and over again. And what can Bricker Brother do? Being counted out once again here. Bricker Brother, they're not moving this time. Back into the action. No. They recover again. So far, though, it is all Bishop. Bricker Brother has done next to nothing in this fight, which is a bit of a shock to me. They dispatched with White Hole with such ease in that first fight. I thought we were going to see a Bricker Brother rout through the heat, but as things stand, Bricker Brother is not going to win this fight because Bishop is all over them here, and that hammer has caused some kind of internal trauma maybe to Bricker Brother. They're causing external trauma as well here, hitting the weapon. Bricker Brother stops again. Intermittent signal issues for Bricker Brother, being counted down once more. This is the third time this fight. Can Bricker Brother get moving again, or are they now finally stopped and still they get going again? Just in the nick of time. Bricker Brother are living on the edge here, but they're really... Are they living? They're very much on the precipice, aren't they, of being knocked out here by Bishop, and this will be a famous win for the rookies if they do manage to get it, but Bricker Brother here have not been at the races in this fight. They came out of the traps against White Hole with some gusto, but nothing here against Bishop, and that hammer of Bishop, it is dangerous, and we've seen that on a number of occasions. Well, we are going to go to time here. Bricker Brother are going to survive to the clock, and they're going to back down the pit. Well, there must be some control issues because they've driven down the pit, and Bishop is going to get 3 points here. What a mistake by Bricker Brother. Well, I warned of Bigger Brother's weaknesses to axes, and so it proved for Bricker Brother as well. Bishop was able to get the hammer in over and over again, and Bricker Brother really did struggle for manoeuvrability and signal and something in the arena, because it wasn't right, was it? Bishop was able to capitalise. They used their hammer brilliantly in this fight. Bricker Brother had several moments where it looked like it was going to get counted out, and in the end, committing Harry Carry, driving themselves down the pit. What an upset.
The ghosts of Shatterstaff come back to haunt Bricker as they falter to another axe spot in Bishop, pushing them down to 3rd place. Next up is our 2 horizontals tonight as Hypno and White Hole both try to spin to win.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
White Hole then off to a pointless start. Hypno Disc, they have a point on the board, at least after fighting Quantum. Weapon to weapon here. Oh, and there goes the rear wheel of Hypno Disc. Not ideal from their point of view, and a big impact again from White Hole. White Hole, we're hoping to get off the mark here. Hypno Disc, a split loss to Quantum. They'll take a lot of pride from that, but that rear wheel coming off again is not an ideal setup for them, certainly. And White Hole here have an opportunity to do something pretty amazing if they can stay out of the way of the pit and of that Hypno Disc weapon. Hypno Disc goes for the pit button and gets it. Weapon to weapon once again. White Hole doesn't really get a big contact off on Hypno Disc. They still say that White Hole is the most powerful and the most effective full body spinner in LEGO Wars. Haven't seen that for a while though. White Hole still one of the most feared robots out there because it can cause untold and catastrophic damage, and they'll certainly be hoping that they can do so here. Hypno Disc have got themselves pinned up on the screws. White Hole comes in for an attack. Oh, and a big impact there, but the whole weapon just kind of stopped on White Hole, didn't it? Didn't look great. All that energy transfer, but it kind of all went back into itself. Hypno Disc has got a still high-centered look on the screws. The wheels aren't touching the floor, and White Hole are going to stand off here and take the 3 points, I think. Hypno Disc. Oh, what a shame for Hypno Disc. The first fight was so good, the second fight so bad. And that is the end of that. White Hole will take 3 points. Hypno Disc, a defeated robot here. Well, the fight wasn't the classic it may have been built up to be, but in the end, routine victory for White Hole. Hypno Disc losing that rear wheel once again will be something to be concerned about going forward. A few big contacts, weapon to weapon there was a big one. And Hypno Disc just drove at the screws and high-centered themselves on their own weapon. Not an ideal situation for them. White Hole taking 3 points.
Hypnodisc
does its best Simon Skinner impression on the screws, giving us a three-way tie for second at the halfway point. Whitehall is up first to break that deadlock as they face current leaders Quantum.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So Whitehall then, maybe the green shoots of recovery for their career after beating Hypnodisc, although I suppose Hypnodisc really beat itself, but they'll take it. 3 points on the board. Quantum, of course, also coming off the victory against Hypnodisc via the judges, and this time they'll be hoping that there's no such decision to make, because down comes that Quantum Crusher on top of Whitehall, eerily similar to its fight with Captain Shredderator, of course, in BattleBots. And down it comes, controlling the full body spinner, slamming it into the wall once, and a second time. Good control by Quantum here, looking very, very good. Yet to lose a fight, of course, in the heats, Quantum, in either this series or last series. And they will be hoping for a clean run through this heat once again to secure their place in the bracket at the end of the series. Quantum, down comes the Crusher again. Whitehall caught in the maw of Quantum. It is just so deadly, it's so well controlled, it's beautifully designed, it's beautifully put together, and Whitehall have a challenge here trying to beat the Crusher that is Quantum. Whitehall back up to speed now. Can it cause any damage? No, doesn't get any major shot off. And Quantum closing and chasing. Whitehall down. Whitehall up to speed. Running away though from Quantum wisely. I think in my opinion, good attack though. Causing damage to Quantum. Part of that wedge has now been ripped away, but Quantum won't mind that. They'll just come back on the attack and cause more aggro for the full body spinner. Whitehall stuck in that corner. Can they get away? Yes, they can. Quantum chasing them down, trying to cause more pain to the full body spinner. Whitehall, oh, the electronics again, starting to fall out of the base of Whitehall. It's not a great look for them. Quantum gets a good grapple hold there with the teeth right on the top there of the cross section. Look at that. Brilliant control here from Quantum. Whitehall in trouble. Gets away. Are they going to try and activate the pit button themselves here, Whitehall? It wouldn't be the wisest decision they've made, I don't think, because Quantum has the superior control and drive in this fight, in my opinion. From what I've seen so far, I've got nothing to change my mind, and the electronics have all fallen out of Whitehall once again. We saw that happen against Bricker Brother in the first fight of the night for them, and it's happened once again here against Quantum. And they can't get away from there. They are stuck off the floor. And Quantum can do whatever it wants to them now. It can drag them towards the pit. It can come in with the Crusher. It can do what it likes. And I think they're going to settle for 3 points on the board, I think. Dragging them into the centre of the arena. And can they get Whitehall down the pit? I don't think they can. We're going to go to time here, surely. Unless Quantum can get a good shove and a heave-ho down the pit. Those 2 points may matter.
6.
Pit button has gone down. Whitehall has gone down. Was it enough for 2 points or 3 points? We'll see. Well, in truth, the fight was pretty much one-way traffic. Quantum controlled the fight and pretty much was able to dominate throughout. Whitehall tried their best. They were able to get away on occasion from that crushing jaw of Quantum. It did cause damage here, look, as it spun up to speed eventually and took off some of the wedge of Quantum, but Quantum was the one closing angles down, using its weapon effectively, and was able here to kind of high centre Whitehall once again. Could have left it alone for the KO victory. I wonder if it did get it in the end as they pushed Whitehall down the pit.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Quantum. Quantum just misses the bell for the KO, but it's another win on the board for the 12 seeds as they're well on the way to make the bracket once more. Now everybody, it's Hypnodisc v Bricker Brother next. No pressure you two, but this was the best fight from the Classic Wars, so try not to botch it.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Hope you're reading that little PSA down the bottom. We are one camera short for this fight, but Hypnodisc taking on Bricker Brother. What more can you ask for in the LEGO Wars arena? A rematch of epic proportions. Bricker Brother and Hypnodisc meeting once again, this time in the LEGO Wars arena. Bricker Brother having to recover, I hope, from their fight with Bishop. And Hypnodisc hoping to recover as well from a pretty poor loss to Whitehall. They'll be very upset about that. Bricker Brother trying to get in underneath Hypnodisc, doesn't get it. Hypnodisc back up to speed again. Bricker Brother runs away. Going for the pit button, maybe. Yes, sir. Down it goes. Bricker Brother 13th seeds. So far, not too unlucky for them, but certainly not been at their best. And Hypnodisc push back. And surely a victory on the cards for Bricker Brother to recover nicely. But Hypnodisc digs in deep and gets away from the pit. Great driving there from Hypnodisc and causing enormous damage to the front end of Bricker Brother, who is once again suffering from signal issues, it seems. Stop still for a second there, but Hypnodisc pushing back on Bricker Brother. Bricker Brother not at their best, are they? Hypnodisc gets away. Tried to spin up, but Bricker Brother stops that for the second it could. But so far, Hypnodisc looking pretty good against the seeding machine, the rookies. And Bricker Brother not at their imperious best like they were against Whitehole in that first fight of the night. But Hypnodisc doing pretty well now. After their own meeting with Whitehole, ended in pretty embarrassing circumstances for them, losing, getting stuck and high-centered on the screws. Bricker Brother takes another hit from Hypnodisc. And they are close to the pit here, Bricker Brother. They need to be careful they don't get just shoved down. They get away from there. Hypnodisc up to speed again, causing more damage to Bricker Brother's front end. And Bricker Brother, what can they do? They do seem to be struggling once again with the thermal cutout issues, signal issues. Something isn't quite right with Bricker Brother, is it, in this heat of LEGO Wars? 13th seeds. They'll be hoping for a better run than this, and a big impact there from Hypnodisc, splitting the wheel pod of Bricker Brother. Hypnodisc picking their shots, spinning up to speed. Good control from Hypnodisc, has to be said, picking up where they left off against Quantum earlier tonight as a decent machine. Certainly Bricker Brother are finding that out the hard way. Bricker Brother need to do something here and quickly, because Hypnodisc are the ones on top at the moment, in my opinion. I am not a judge, but we are going to go to time and our judges. Well, Hypnodisc have recovered well. Bricker Brother seem to be struggling still with their thermal cutout issues. We go to full time and our panel of judges will decide our winner. Well, once again, the seeded machine, Bricker Brother, weren't at their best, were they? They tried the old reverse into Hypnodisc tactic that worked for Bigger Brother in Robot Wars, but didn't quite work out the same way on this occasion. They even tried to push Hypnodisc down the pit. That didn't work out either. Hypnodisc regained traction, was able to escape, and from then on in, Hypnodisc's fight, I think, was this one, because, you know, Hypnodisc were able to cause damage to Bricker Brother. Bricker Brother once again suffering with thermal cutout and signal issues, and Hypnodisc rising in the ascendancy.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Hypnodisc. Of course it wasn't going to match that fight. Still, Hypnodisc's JD does make the tables look very interesting going into the remaining fights, as everybody below Quantum is fighting for that second bracket spot. Of those four, Whitehole is under the biggest pressure with needing a win from their final fight with Bishop, so let's hope they fix their internal bracing issues.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Bishop and Whitehole then head to head. Whitehole's last fight of the night, and down comes the Bishop hammer once again, causing all kinds of issues for their opponent. Whitehole trying to get up to speed, doesn't get it at the moment. There they go, rising up through the gears. Good impact again on Bishop, but Bishop is doing a decent job of closing down any potential escape avenues for Whitehole, and Whitehole not really able to motor through the motions and try and get that weapon up to full killing speed thus far, because Bishop is doing a decent job of closing them down and boxing them in. Gets away though, Whitehole. Whitehole now back up to speed, almost doesn't quite get it. Down comes the hammer of Bishop, and again, good slam down by the hammer of Bishop. Bishop doing a decent job throughout this heat, has to be said. I've been very impressed with Bishop for the newcomers. And down comes the hammer again. There is an outside chance of qualification for either of these two, should they knock out the other in this fight. Down comes the Bishop hammer once again. Bishop has also got another fight still to go, and they'll be trying to factor that into their calculations as well. They'll have to take on Hypnodisc for each robot's final fight of the night. Whitehole will be done after this one. They need a victory to kind of secure any hope of qualification they may have. Whitehole now up to killing speed. Bishop going for the pit button, doesn't get it on this occasion. Lacks the drive power and the purchase to push the pit button down. How costly will that be? Bishop's hammer strikes the top again and again. Good control by Bishop. White hole gets away. The chassis is starting to split. The ring of the white hole starting to break apart. White hole navigates his way over towards the screws. Bishop chases. Can Bishop's hammer cause the knockout blow that they'll be hoping? Not thus far. They were able to do a decent number of smacks and hits on Bricker Brother earlier in the night. White hole goes to the pit button, doesn't get it either. No pit so far. When was the last time the pit wasn't activated in a Lego Wars fight that ran to time? Who knows? Well, we're not going to find out this time either. Pit has gone down. White hole pushing back on Bishop towards the screws. Bishop chases again. The hammer comes down. Surely. There it is. And clutches inside that hole on top of the white hole. White hole pushing back on Bishop. They know they're behind and maybe try and push them down the pit. Good control by Bishop to kind of keep themselves away from that pit. Down comes the hammer of Bishop again. Manoeuvring herself is White hole, trying to get round to the front and nudge it back towards the pit, but doesn't get the opportunity to do so. Push into the corner instead. Time ticks away between Bishop and White hole. A good fight between the two. Gonna go to time. Not really useful for either of them, but points will be shared between the two of them. Let's see which one gets the 2, which one gets the 1 between White hole and Bishop. What happens when you put two very unique and interesting robots in the arena together at the same time? Actually a pretty decent fight. White hole able to spin up to speed on occasion and cause some issues for Bishop. Bishop henning them in and using the hammer more than often to cause issues for White hole. White hole not at its killing best. Bishop not able to get a grapple of the fight as much as they would have wanted. A tough decision for the judges.
And the winner by split decision is Bishop. A fun encounter there gives the momentum to Bishop, while White hole is now hanging on by a thread to a play in berth. Hypnodisc meanwhile remain at the foot of the table and need a win to get back into contention.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Simple as you like. Winner of this fight goes through to the bracket. Loser, we'll have to wait and see how things pan out tonight. In the other fight still to come, White hole currently occupying that third playoff spot thus far. A win for Hypnodisc puts them in a very good position to at least secure qualification, although they do need a knockout win. Bishop, they just need a win by any means necessary, and they'll be there, and I think they'll have deserved it. They've been brilliant tonight, the rookies. Well, both the rookies have been brilliant, to be fair, tonight. Hypnodisc trying to get that weapon into play, does so there, doesn't get a solid contact on Bishop, but Bishop doing very well to kind of stay out of the way of Hypnodisc's weapon. Bishop drifting from side to side. Now launches forward at Hypnodisc. Hypnodisc trying to get the weapon into play, not up to speed currently though. Bishop having some fun with the wall. Guys, are you okay? Bishop? Hello? Is everything good? Yeah, I think we're back in the action. Hypnodisc up to speed. Weapon spinning up to maximum velocity. Can they bring it into play and cause damage to Bishop? Yes, they can. Some damage to Bishop. Bishop drifting side to side. And a great hit there on Hypnodisc, damaging the top armour of Hypnodisc straight through the top plate. Look at that. There's a big hole in the top of Hypnodisc now. Bishop will take some encouragement from that. They can cause damage to Hypnodisc at will. Hypnodisc trying to get up to speed once more, penning Bishop against the wall. Brilliant driving from Hypnodisc. Hypnodisc up to speed once again. Can they cause an equally powerful shot to Bishop? Not like that, they won't. In comes Bishop once again. Good slam down with the hammer, and again, and down comes the hammer once again, causing all kinds of damage to the top of Hypnodisc. The roof of that kind of back box where all the goodies are contained, the electronics, the batteries, everything like that, completely destroyed. And Hypnodisc now know that their very innards are vulnerable and exposed. Hypnodisc need to do something, and quick. Bishop on the warpath, looking very, very good throughout this heat. Bishop, they've been superb in this fight as well. Another wheel has come off of Hypnodisc. We've seen that they can survive that though, pushing Bishop back towards the pit. A great response from Hypnodisc. Bishop on the very lip of the pit and down the pit. Hypno Disc secures the knockout win against all the odds and beats Bishop. What a fight between these two. Well, that fight seemed to be only heading in one direction, and that was Bishop's, with the initial momentum kind of mixed between the two. No real standout shots to start off the fight. Hypno Disc occasionally getting a good hit in here and there, but nothing major. That was the first major damage of the fight, and Bishop from then on in could smell blood, causing all kinds of damage and carnage to the back of Hypno Disc, but in the end, turn around and were pitted.
I can only apologise for the apparent drunk driving with Bishop as Hypno Disc jump up to second, while long-time leaders Quantum are now confirmed a bracket spot going into the last fight of the night. All that's standing between them and another high ranking in the bracket is a Bricker down on its luck in last place with nothing else to lose, so let's find out how they'll finish.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Our two seeds then will round off the heat as is tradition. Bricker Brother seeded 13, Quantum seeded 12. The two seeds that are closest to each other in any of the heats go head to head, and once again there is a lot on the line. If Bricker Brother fail to win, they are heading out of here. If Quantum win, they go a perfect heat for the second year running, winning every single fight. Bricker Brother, they know that they've got a lot of work to do here because Quantum thus far have been superb in this heat. The 12 seeds against the 13th seeds, and down comes that crushing arm of Quantum. Quantum pushing Bricker Brother back. Although form would probably be on Bricker Brother's side in terms of other heats this series, because in every other heat so far the lower seed has won the seed clash at any heat. Go back and watch them all. Bricker Brother pushed against the wall by Quantum, and down comes that crushing arm once again. Good control by Quantum. Bricker Brother escapes. They have been plagued all night by thermal issues and signal issues. Quantum, no such drama for them. They have been imperious throughout the night, except for maybe a stiffer challenge against Hypno Disc than they would have originally thought. Good push back there by Quantum. Quantum tries to get round the back of Bricker Brother. Bricker Brother escapes. Pushed against the wall once again though. Down comes the crushing arm momentarily, surely. The lifting arm of Bricker Brother goes up and lifts that claw away for now. Bricker Brother tries to get to the side of Quantum, maybe turn it over, doesn't get it. Quantum, good push back on Bricker Brother, that jaw looming ominously above Bricker Brother. Good push towards the pit, doesn't go down the pit. Bricker Brother have got to do well to escape here. Can they do so? Bricker Brother using the Jevon strats, as we know. Very popular in LEGO Wars, go round the pit, round the back of the pit, and they've managed to do so here, but Quantum is waiting for them. Can Quantum push them just straight down the pit to finish up? Doesn't get it. Quantum maybe ruining that mistake. Bricker Brother right next to the lip of the pit. They know they need to be careful here. Bricker Brother goes straight into the maw of Quantum once again. Good driving by Quantum. Bricker Brother in the corner. Can they get away? Yes, they can. Good driving by Bricker Brother. Only to go straight back into the claw and jaws of Quantum, who so far have been dominating this fight, it has to be said. Not long left to go. Bricker Brother needs something to turn in their favour, and quickly. Bricker Brother running away from Quantum. Quantum pushes back. Can the claw come down again? Doesn't happen on this occasion. Bricker Brother just kind of stuck against the arena wall, but they've lifted Quantum up by the jaw. Good push by Bricker Brother. What a turnaround this is! And Quantum have been dangled and pushed down the pit! What a move by Bricker Brother! They win the fight, and they turn it around in the last dying seconds! What a win for Bricker Brother! Well, once again, this fight seemed to be only going in one direction, and that was Quantum's throughout this fight. Quantum was superb, controlling the arena, pushing Bricker Brother around, didn't really give them a chance to respond, and there were so many times where Bricker Brother were trying to do something with that lifter but weren't able to perfect it. They were pushed into that corner by the pit so many times as well. God knows how they escaped. Bricker Brother lifting Quantum up, turning the fight on its head with an incredible move right at the end to win it.
And that brilliant reversal from Bricker shoots them up to the top to close the night. It's been a brilliant start to the second half of our heats as Quantum again show their control bot prowess, and yet it's the veterans Bricker shaking off a potential number 13 curse to turn the tables at the very end. That's all from us tonight, but join us next time when the Dutch Crusher Petunia returns to the arena alongside the destructive Monsoon. For now though, I've been your host David of Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one. free.
It's next to you.
I need to retouch that. What I mean to say is... Oh dear. It's not happy, David.